Adam Silver has caused quite a stir in WNBA world because he just went on the Today Show and he was talking about the WNBA CBA. And here's what he had to say. He said, "I think share isn't the right way to look at it because there's so..."
The WNBA is facing one of its most difficult moments right now. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver and Commissioner Cathy Engelbert appear to be at odds behind the scenes. Players are frustrated. Team owners are starting to feel uneasy. And somehow, Caitlin Clark has become central to the league's future. It's a surprising situation. The same person who helped make the league more popular may now be at the center of a conflict that could seriously damage it. So, who is really losing influence here? Silver and Engelbert have disagreed for a long time. This time, though, those disagreements have become visible, and the situation is rapidly becoming more serious.
Cycle of collective bargaining, and they deserve it. So what he's talking about here is the revenue share that the players have been fighting for. So essentially what the players have said in these negotiations is that they want to be paid more when it comes to their salary, but they also want a higher percentage of the revenue split because currently they are only getting 9% of that revenue split. But we have went over it a million times, you guys. The structure of the WNBA, the finances in the WNBA, and the structure of the...
And right in the middle of it all is Caitlin Clark. Ironically, the same player who increased television ratings, packed arenas, and kept the WNBA in the spotlight has now unintentionally triggered a major power struggle between league leadership and the players' union. This is the reality of the situation. The WNBA is currently working through negotiations for a new collective bargaining agreement, or CBA. Players and league officials are debating salaries, bonuses, revenue sharing, and the overall financial system. Simply put, it is a fight over how money should be divided. Then Adam Silver appeared on national television, including an interview on the Today Show, and made a comment that caught everyone off guard. He said, "I don't think revenue share is the right way to look at it because the NBA generates so much more." He also added, "The players will make more money during the cycle, and they should." That remark immediately set off controversy.
They're calling for players in the WNBA are calling for more money. They 9%, I believe, accordingly. They get 9% of total revenue compared to roughly 50% of the revenue of NBA players. Should they be getting a larger share of the revenue in the WNBA?
Yes. I mean, I think share isn't the right way to look at it because there's so much more revenue in the NBA. I think you should look at it in absolute numbers in terms of what they're making, and they are going to get a big increase in this cycle.
But not a bigger portion of the profits. In other words, more money may be coming, but not a larger seat at the table. That was the moment Cathy Engelbert found herself facing major trouble. As soon as Silver made those remarks, the WNBPA, the players' union, reacted strongly. The response came directly from the union's official account. Rather than issuing a formal statement, they posted a sarcastic Instagram message that tagged Adam Silver and said, "Don't want to share Adam Silver." Online, the official WNBA Players Association seemed to go into full protest mode. Then the situation became even messier. A league spokesperson pushed back, accusing the union of misrepresenting the facts. According to the league, an unlimited revenue-sharing model tied to league growth had already been offered. In other words, they were saying, "We already presented a reasonable proposal. Maybe take another look at it." Right now, Cathy Engelbert is stuck in an extremely difficult position. She must deal with unhappy players without directly challenging Adam Silver, who oversees much of the league's financial support. And here's the reality that rarely gets discussed. The WNBA does not fully control itself. It owns only 42% of the league. The NBA owns 40%, while independent investors control the remaining 18%. Back in 2022, the WNBA urgently needed financial support to keep operating.
Now, in true WNBPA fashion, they decided to clap back on their Instagram account to Adam Silver's remarks. And they posted this. They said, "Don't want to share at Adam Silver." So they literally tagged Adam Silver, used a screenshot from this interview, and posted this in their Instagram story. You guys, I do not know what they think doing that will accomplish. You know how there's that meme where it's like 0 days of whatever? It's like...
So how did the players' union respond? In classic WNBPA fashion, they answered Adam Silver's comments through Instagram. They posted, Don't want to share at Adam Silver, alongside a screenshot from his interview. Yes, they tagged him directly. And yes, it came from their official account. They publicly shared it on their Instagram story for everyone to see. Honestly, it's difficult to know what result they expected. It felt similar to one of those memes that says, 0 days since the last incident. Almost immediately, the drama began all over again.
We call BS and we see you. It's like, I don't understand what posting this does besides stir up more drama. People are like, ooh, look at them. Look, it's like, no, we're acting like children. Should be acting like a professional organization. You have to work out these things at the negotiating table, not on social media. Like, this is so childish to me. And when I saw this, it just reminded me of how draining it is sometimes to cover this league, because it's like seriously.
All of this has created a major problem. Even if Cathy Engelbert wanted to offer players a 50-50 revenue split like the NBA has, she simply does not have the power to do that. It is beyond what the league can authorize. Meanwhile, players appear to be preparing for a showdown with Adam Silver, the person largely responsible for keeping the operation running. Owners, investors, and sponsors are reportedly becoming nervous behind the scenes. If players refuse to compete until a new agreement is signed, the WNBA could face its first-ever lockout. And the timing could not be worse. The CBA deadline arrives on Halloween, and honestly, that timing feels fitting because it could be frightening for everyone involved. WNBA players argue that they are fighting for fairness. They believe they have not been properly valued. They want more than a salary increase. They want a larger percentage of league revenue. On the surface, that argument sounds reasonable. The problem is that the WNBA has never turned a profit. Not once. Even with Caitlin Clark drawing huge crowds, breaking ratings records, and helping revive interest in the league, the WNBA continues to lose money. Think of it this way. Employees are asking for a larger share of losses every year. Adam Silver is making essentially that same point, although he is using much more careful and polished language. At the same time, Cathy Engelbert seems determined not to say that publicly because she knows the internet would immediately criticize her for it. But the players are not focused on spreadsheets or financial reports. They point to the crowds. They point to Caitlin Clark. They point to television ratings and merchandise sales. Their message is simple: we matter more now, and we deserve more because of it. The uncomfortable reality is that they are not entirely wrong. Without Caitlin Clark, there likely would not be this level of disagreement. She helped create the leverage that allowed owners to negotiate a new media deal. She is one of the main reasons sponsors became interested. Attendance surged, and television ratings reportedly jumped by 400%. Nearly every statistic players use to support their case for higher pay is connected in some way to Caitlin Clark's impact. That is what makes this entire situation both frustrating and ironic. Adam Silver is essentially telling Engelbert, congratulations, your players want higher salaries, and the reason is the superstar everyone depends on. The league is now experiencing the consequences of relying so heavily on the Caitlin Clark effect. And when she was sidelined earlier this year, everything suddenly changed. Ratings declined. Sports shows spent less time discussing the league. Within weeks of her injury, ESPN's new WNBA talk show was reportedly canceled after struggling to gain traction. Caitlin Clark's injury served as a warning sign for the league. The excitement surrounding the WNBA quickly cooled once she was no longer on the court. Owners saw it, fans saw it, and Adam Silver likely noticed it as well. He may be thinking that this is exactly why a 50% revenue split is not being offered. Remove her from the equation, and the entire picture changes. Meanwhile, players continue to argue that the league's growth comes from everyone, not just one individual. But Silver's response appears to be much quieter. Really? Because when she was absent, everyone saw what happened to the numbers. As a result, Cathy Engelbert finds herself in perhaps the toughest position possible, caught between the ambitions of her players and Adam Silver's harsh reality check. At this point, statements from both sides sound increasingly like damage control. The union says the league is delaying progress. The league claims the players are spreading inaccurate information. Fans are choosing sides. Sponsors are beginning to feel uneasy. The entire situation resembles a soap opera, only with fewer baskets and far more boardroom politics. Through it all, Caitlin Clark's name continues to surface. She now sits at the center of every debate. Whether she wants that role or not, players point to her when arguing for more. Owners use her success when discussing future deals. Her influence has become part of nearly every conversation. Former WNBA stars, including Rebecca Lobo, are recognizing what is happening. Years ago, the NBA could have chosen to shut down the WNBA. Today, however, the league's value has risen dramatically, and much of that value is closely connected to the popularity of one player. Everyone feels the pressure, yet few are willing to openly admit it. Caitlin Clark remains the key figure in the middle of it all.